friends, in today's video, I'm starting the spring cleaning of our fully furnished basement. I get the family room scrubbed from top to bottom, including the couch. I get the hallway along my boys' rooms spick and span. I finally put away my Christmas winter lanterns that have been out since December 1st. And last but certainly not least, I tackle the steps leading upstairs. They were long overdue. I even throw in some laundry motivation since I'm down here in the basement beside the laundry area anyways. So pop my video on your TV, tablet, or phone and clean along with me, or sit back and relax with your favorite drink and stockpile that cleaning motivation for future use. Hope you enjoy. Don't forget to like my video, comment below, subscribe to my channel, and click that bell notification for more inspiring motivational videos. Let's be friends on Instagram too. You can find me at Home with Elizabeth. Happy Thursday, friends. So this was filmed Saturday the 5th. I believe the 5th was Saturday. My husband and I had been up, we'd been grocery shopping. We came back, we put everything away, and he needed to get his Blackstone cleaned, and I needed to get this basement started. I usually don't like to clean on Saturdays, but it had to be done. There's not enough days in the week. So what I was doing just right there is I never got my youngest son's bedding washed last week during bedding week. So he was home just relaxing. So I said, bring it out. I'm going to be down here. I can keep on top of it. Let me just get it in the washer. So that's what I was just doing right there. And of course, this is the Saturday after Friday. And on Fridays, I do my clothes and towels. So I'd got my clothes washed and dried, but I had not got them folded. So we're going to do that right now. And then a little later in the video, we're going to do the towel. But while you sit here and watch me fold this laundry, maybe I can give you some motivation to get some laundry folded that you have sitting around. Let me do a little introduction. Welcome back to my channel. My name's Elizabeth if you're new around here. I'm a 51-year-old wife and stay-at-home mom to 7 adult/teenage children. I have 2 girls aged 26 and 22. I have 3 boys aged 20, 17, and 15. I also have 2 bonus boys. They're 16-year-old twins. They're my nephews that I got custody of a few years ago. On my channel, you're going to find lots of cleaning motivation and inspiration. You'll find a little bit of decorating and organizing and decluttering motivation, but what you're going to find lots and lots of is real life. I like to keep it very real around here, and I like to share with you my perfectly imperfect life, and I strive to help others not feel so alone in this world, and to help them realize that the best way to live their life is as their most perfectly imperfect self also. If that sounds like content you would enjoy watching, make sure you subscribe to my channel because I would love to have you join my community. And you're just hearing, I also have 2 fur babies in my house too. That's what you're hearing in the background. Those are going to stay in here. All right, so what you just kind of saw right there is my middle son had rugby practice and it was raining and he had thrown his clothes in my slop sink right here. Well, they had started to smell. So I was going to try and get them out to kind of put in the other clothes basket so I could fill my mop bucket. But they were staying in there and I was going to throw them directly in the washer as soon as my youngest son's bedding was done. So you saw me dust my TV, and then I filled my mop bucket. I'm just using a little bit of powdered Tide, and my O-Cedar mop, and we are going to start scrubbing these walls. You saw me do on the one side of my bookcase, and then you just saw me move my bookcase, and now I'm moving these dog kennels so that I can get into this corner. And I just grabbed my vacuum because as I was washing the wall there was some dog fur in this back corner, and it had kind of got on the wall. So I'm just giving this floor a quick sweep so that I'm not putting all that dog fur in my buckets. I was also getting some chunks off the floor. Friends, you know I have this thing about walking on chunks or kneeling on chunks. Yeah, can't do it. So I actually just swept it there a little bit, and then I'm going to sweep it again. But friends, I have mentioned before, my basement, at least this area and my hallway area, they do not really get dirty, and they don't even really get dusty. I'm going to show you the mop water from these walls and then the mop water from the hallways, and I do mop the floors with the same water, and it's really not dirty at all. But I think that's because that area way back there in the back near my back door always gets filthy because it's kind of our mudroom area. So I think that the dust gods are giving me a break on this end of my basement. Even my bookcase here that has my photo albums on it was not even very dusty. And I honestly can't tell you the last time I dusted it. It's been quite a few months, probably maybe just before Christmas. I'm still pulling off all my little albums and scrapbooks and stuff, and we're getting this bookshelf dusted. And of course, the pups were down here the whole time with me, and I mean, you're probably just seeing them coming in and out of the screen, and they were just hanging out with mom. Honestly, they prefer me probably over anyone else in the house. So even though this was a Saturday and all the boys were home, they were just hanging out with me. Alright, as you can see, I told you I come back in this area and I get it vacuumed. This is just my Dyson V10, and then I'm going to come in with my O-Cedar. I'm still using just the Tide, and we're just mopping up this floor. All this wood floor here that's exposed in the family room. And I apologize for those pups. We just went outside, and of course they're always a little rambunctious after we get outside. So now we're just vacuuming this end, and then we're gonna mop it. So friends, my next video, which is going to be Monday the 14th, is going to be the second half of this basement. It's gonna be my mudroom area and my laundry area. Now there's not a lot of walls and stuff to scrub in that area, but there's going to be a lot of deep cleaning of like my washer, my dryer. You know, my mudroom area is always filthy because we all come in there, in and out those doors. The dogs come in and out those doors multiple times a day. So there's going to be some satisfying dirty water pours on that end. So make sure if you're interested in more cleaning motivation, spring cleaning motivation, that you tune in Thursday also. All right, so you saw I just got my couch vacuumed, and now I pulled off the cushions and we are getting the inside vacuumed. And of course, my kids are a lot older now, so Thankfully, my couches are not as filthy as used to be in those toddler years. But friends, if you have toddlers, I feel you. There were times when I would have to clean my couch every day because of all the mess and stuff. But thankfully, we're past those days. So friends, they do get back. They go away, and it does get a little better. My youngest son, he comes out and visits me in the pup. He is a big helper, guys. He is probably my best helper. But I think it's just because he's the youngest and he's maybe not as busy as everyone else, but he really is a good helper with me, especially with cleaning and moving stuff. All right, we're going to get this bookcase back together. We're going to get these kennels moved so that I can start moving these couches forward so I can get behind them at the walls and the rug. And I've said it before, friends, when I'm cleaning, 9 times out of 10, I have cleaning videos on also, because I need motivation too, friends. Like, I am here to provide you with motivation, but there are days that I need motivation too. Especially like on a Saturday when normally I don't clean on a Saturday. Watching other content creators clean, it helps motivate me, friends. I enjoy listening to them talk because I've watched them for years. I've watched them before I even started this cleaning channel. And so, I feel like I've been friends with them for years too. So, it's nice to catch up on not only their cleaning lives, but their daily lives too. So now we have got the rug swept, and I am just washing these walls behind this couch here. Friends, some of my next videos too, I just told you about what's going to be coming up on the 14th. I believe the 17th is probably just going to be a general cleaning video, just some normal everyday cleaning motivation and homemaking motivation. But then the following week, I have ordered several things to, I don't want to say do a makeover in my boys' room because I haven't even really decorated my boys' room. So I've ordered stuff to decorate my boys' rooms. We are starting here in the basement with my youngest son's room and my oldest son's room. Only because, and I gotta pause here for just a second, these dogs are driving me crazy. I swear, friends, sometimes my dogs are worse than toddlers. But as I was saying, while I was vacuuming my rug more, and now I am getting the towels out of the dryer and putting my son's bedding in the dryer. I'm starting with the two downstairs basement boys, my youngest and my oldest, because my oldest is still away at college. He's actually not coming home for Easter. I've said it before, he's a resident assistant, and he's on duty before Easter break and after Easter break, so he's only going to be home like a day. And honestly, friends, he drives a big truck. It's a waste of gas. But anyways, to make a long story even longer, no, long story short, I'm starting with their rooms because I can do his room, or I can do my youngest boy's room, and like first, and my youngest can sleep in the other room. So if I decide to do my youngest boy's room first, he can sleep in my oldest's bedroom, and then he can go in his bedroom and I can finish my oldest boy's bedroom, because we have a free bedroom downstairs. And then I am going to eventually gather the supplies to do the two upstairs boys' rooms. But those will be after the second basement clean, and I believe, like I said, it's going to be an everyday homemaking video. I'm going to start the decorating of those two boys' rooms. Friends, it's nothing fancy. I am not a fancy person. I'm trying to do this on a budget. I don't want to spend $1 million, but yeah, I'm excited. All right, so as I was explaining that to you guys, I was just working behind these couches, getting rugs swept, getting the walls finished washing. There were pretzels behind this that needed picked up, just, getting some vacuuming done, and now I'm just finishing the mopping here of this family room, and we are going to get these couches pushed back and start to get this living room back together. And friends, I did not wash these covers on this couch. They really weren't that dirty because honestly, no one spends a lot of time in this room. Other than like me and my husband occasionally, like the boys are still pretty much hanging out in their bedroom. And no one's had a sleepover in a while. I may do it just before summer so that, because my oldest son and his friends hang out here a lot, but I'm honestly wanting to get those covers that I bought for my upstairs couch for this one too. And that way those are easier to wash than actually taking these covers off. So this is the dirt that I've swept up in the basement so far. So pretty dusty. Most of it's like the rugs and some like corner dust and stuff like that. So not too bad for an entire basement. So we're getting these kennels back, and then we are going to sit here and fold some towels. So again, these were done the day before on a Friday. I got them washed, I got them dried, I just didn't get them folded. And mostly that's because we had an away lacrosse game on Friday. So I honestly left the house at like 4 o'clock. So it was just enough for me to get stuff washed and dried and just get my everyday stuff done. So friends, after I fold these towels, you're gonna see me switch outfits because it was so rainy this day. It was doing nothing but raining, and it was pretty warm. It was probably in the low 60s, and I tell you what, I was sweating buckets. So after I do these towels and get them folded, I do take a break to eat some late lunch, and I throw on a pair of shorts and a tank top because this basement was so humid. It was crazy. And honestly, I wanted to change before this, but like I said, the dogs were with me, and I didn't want to take them upstairs to change because I knew I'd have trouble getting them back down here. And then I didn't feel like rousing a boy to get them out in the living room to watch them. It was just, sometimes, friends, it's just easier for yourself to suffer a little bit instead of like trying to get someone else to do something. I know that's probably not the right way to do things, but sometimes I just do it. All right, as you see, that is the water from all the walls and the floor in the family room. And it wasn't that dirty. It was just barely a light, like beige color. I was so impressed and so thankful how clean it stays down here. All right, so these are my son's blankets. I have to wash them separate than his bedding because it's just too bulky for my washer. And here he is. He's so funny. He's to that point where he really loves me and he's okay sometimes with the camera, but then there's times where he's like, I don't think so, Mom. But you just saw him help me move my bench here in the hallway. And so now we're working on these walls. And I'm gonna do about the same thing as before. I'm going to start on the bottom, and you're gonna see me stop and vacuum because, again, there was some dog fur that was under the bench, and it was getting on my mop, and I didn't want to drag it into the water and then wipe it all over the walls. And of course, I started to do just the first edge of my son's door there, and then I realized how really filthy it was. So I went ahead and just did the whole outside of it. And I'm sure when I go to do his room, I'll do the outside of it again. But we're just getting these walls done, and then I'm gonna switch and show you how I vacuum the rug and then get back to washing these walls. And it was mostly on this side here. And of course, I got little man out here to help me again. He's always been my rug runner helper. He's always standing on the edge of the rug so Mama can vacuum it. And friends, as I was down here cleaning and stuff, I think I'm going to bring the color that I have on the other side of the room in the mudroom area. I'm going to bring it in here to the hall, but not the whole wall. I'm going to do like a chair rail, maybe about 3 or 4 feet up, and then I'm going to paint that bottom section that grayish blue. I think it'll look really nice. I think it'll give this hallway some character. But I'm adding it to the list, friends. I don't know how soon it'll get done. It's just things that I think of that I want to do, and I'm just adding them to my list. All right, we're getting this front end of the hallway mopped with my O-Cedar. And again, you saw I just filled up the bucket and I used some powder Tide. So this door right here, this is my oldest son's room. I don't know if you've noticed before, you can go look back in some of my older videos, but he has a brownish rug in his room. It's actually the old rug from our bedroom, from our old house, and it has greens and blues in it. So I am going to bring in some green paint in his room, is what I'm going to bring in there to help with an accent wall. And then my younger son's room has a gray rug with some white geometric shapes. It's actually an old living room rug from our old place. So, and I'm going to bring in gray, a light gray. I believe I looked it up and I think it's called Sherman-Williams French gray, I think. That's the color I'm going to bring into his room for his accent wall. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about getting some color down here and in their rooms. We are just finishing up vacuuming this end of the hallway. And now we're going to get the floor and the baseboards mopped. And then once I get this hallway put back together, I sent my youngest son up to the attic to find me my container that my lanterns go in, which is really the reason why they haven't been put away yet. No one could find the container for me, but guess what? I offered some money for someone to find it, and my son, youngest son, went up there. He found it within like a minute and a half. So it was money well spent because I needed it. But I'm showing you right here how filthy they are. Friends, you know, we go up and down these stairs constantly, and these were just filled with dust and dirt. Yeah, gross. So I'm getting them all wiped. Well, I'm getting them all vacuumed out first, and then I'm going to wipe them out. But I was okay. Like, I did want to put them away like at the beginning of March, because they're not truly Christmas. They're kind of winter themed. They have like pine trees and like snowflakes on them, and the gray ones have kind of like a pretty like wilderness scene with like a church or a cabin. So they really are kind of winter lanterns. So I didn't really care about leaving them out for so long. Like I said, I kind of wanted to put them away halfway through March, but that's okay. And we love the lanterns on our step. I really want to find some general lanterns to put back on there, but I haven't had time, so I just put the candles away, and we'll maybe figure it out next year after I put these away. I can look and maybe look for a sale and stuff like that. But we do enjoy the lights on the steps leading to the basement. And you're going to see when I'm done wrapping these and putting them in my tub right there, I was starting to take the batteries out of the candles, but I thought, oh, this video is going to be long enough already. So you're going to see that I start to take it out, but then I just shut my camera off. But I did take all the batteries off, and I did use my Mrs. Meyer and my microfiber cloth to wipe all the candles too. And then here's my little boy coming out here yakking with me again. And I'm happy to say, friends, we only lost one lantern from the dog, so that's a score. All right, friends, here are these disgusting steps. They are so dirty. Oh, they were long overdue for a vacuuming, you can see. But we got it done, friends, so I'm showing you, here's my empty canister, and then at the end I'm going to show you how full it is with dust. And of course, we're still rocking this carpet. Isn't it funny, friends, how I don't want to say my priorities, but like my plans changed. Like if you were here at the very beginning of this new house, like once we got the basement finished, like the carpet coming off this step was going to be the very next thing that we did. And here it is almost a year later and we're still rocking this carpet. But I'm telling you, friends, I like having the carpet. I don't like this carpet, but I like having carpet on the steps, especially with the pups, because they even slip sometimes on this carpet. So it's gonna hang around for a while. It has moved way down the line. So even though it's not the prettiest, it's still in good shape. And I'm not just gonna get rid of it because of the looks right now. We're just gonna work with the pattern on it. We're gonna just work with the nostalgia of the 80s. All right, friends, we have about a minute left. I'm just going to finish up these steps, but I'm going to let you go for now. I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank you for joining me. If I could ask you to do me a favor, can you give this video a thumbs up, give it a like? It just lets YouTube know that you like this type of content, not only from me, but from other content creators, and it will suggest this type of content for you. If you feel like leaving me a comment, go ahead. I would really appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, why the heck not? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, then that bell notification, and you'll never miss another one of my videos. I release every Monday and Thursday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'd love you to become part of my community. So friends, until the next video, have a great day, and I'll see you later. Bye.